This is VOA News. Via remote, I'm Marissa Melton. Face-to-face by video, President Biden laid out to China's Xi Jinping the consequences China would face if it provides military or economic assistance for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The AP's Ed Donahue reports.
The conversation lasted for 2 hours. In a readout, China's foreign ministry deplored conflict and confrontation as not in anyone's interest, but assigned no blame to Russia and said nothing about the next steps. Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked if the White House still has concerns China could help Russia.
We have that concern. The president detailed, what the implications and consequences would be if China provides material support to Russia.
There was no indication the president got any assurance in return.
China has to make a decision for themselves about where they want to stand and how they want the history books to look at them and view their actions.
A Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson pushed back, calling the administration overbearing for suggesting China risks falling on the wrong side of history. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The Russian military Friday sent missile strikes into neighborhoods of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, and launched a barrage of missiles against an aircraft repair installation at an airport on the outskirts of the western city of Lviv, close to the Polish border. One person was reported wounded. Satellite photos showed the strike destroyed a repair hangar and appeared to damage two other buildings. A row of fighter jets appeared intact, but an apparent impact crater sat in front of them. Ukraine said it had shot down 2 of 6 missiles in the attack, which is believed to have come from the Black Sea. The early morning attack was the closest strike yet to the center of Lviv, which is not far from the Polish border. This is VOA News. The European Center for Disease Prevention and Control said countries should provide free COVID-19 testing for refugees from Ukraine to avoid outbreaks, as more than 3 million people have fled the war-stricken homeland. The family of a British U.S. Iranian national who'd been released from an Iranian prison just 2 days ago says he is back in jail Friday. Morad Tabaz was released on furlough the same day that 2 other British dual nationals, Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe and Anousheh Ashouri, were released and allowed to travel back to Britain. Details of the release deal are unclear, but when Zaghari-Ratcliffe and Ashouri were released, Iran's state media reported that Britain had paid Iran, quote, a long overdue debt of $530 million to Tehran. Tabaz, an environmental activist, was detained along with 7 others in January of 2018 and accused of spying on Iranian strategic areas. The U.S. State Department on Friday called for his immediate furlough and said a failure to do so was a violation of Iran's deal with Britain. A U.S. spokesperson said, "We are not a party to this arrangement, but would join the U.K. in considering anything short of Murad's immediate furlough a violation of Iran's commitment." The spokesperson added that the U.S. is urgently consulting with the U.K. on appropriate responses. Human rights groups have accused Tehran of taking dual national hostages as bargaining chips. Iran denies that. As the U.S. historically black colleges remain on edge after receiving dozens of bomb threats in recent weeks, federal law enforcement officials said they have identified 6 people who they believe are responsible. More than a third of America's 101 historically black colleges and universities have been targeted by calls or emails threatening bombings since early January. At a congressional hearing Thursday, FBI officials said they are investigating 6 juveniles who are believed to be behind most of the threats. No explosives have been found, but students say that the threat of violence has loomed heavily over their daily lives. The U.S. state of South Carolina now has the means to facilitate executions by firing squad, according to officials on Friday. This makes it one of the few states where it is lawful to carry out a death sentence in that manner. And to recap our top story this hour, U.S. President Joe Biden spoke to Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Friday. He warned the leader not to provide material support to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The video call came a day after Biden's top diplomat acknowledged that Washington believes Beijing is willing to provide such support. Via remote, I'm Marissa Melton, VOA News.